no idea what trigonometry is. Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ragnar and Chow.
Cheers, buddies. Been some time. Been a drink or two.
It has. Hey, mate, I was thinking about you the other day because my daughter was at school and I think she got in trouble for something anyway, and they made her stand outside. And I thought, I remember hearing you talk about this in one of our previous episodes, that this used to happen to you, and it used to happen to me as well. And it got me thinking, right? What is the most horrible thing you ever did to one of your teachers as a student? Because we did some horrible shit to our teachers.
Look, it wasn't the most horrible thing ever, but it was a collaboration of minor barrages on this woman's name till eventually she cracked. I believe I was year 5. And we had a substitute teacher from South Africa. And
the substitute teacher, man. Oh, my God, they get smashed.
But she was our substitute teacher for like a month or two. Like, it must have been, I don't know, someone's holidays or something, but it was the same one the whole time, Miss Jackson. And at that time, the Outcast song, Miss Jackson, was quite prominent on the radio. And every time any of us would get in trouble, we'd all burst out into song. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. And I don't know whether she was having a particularly bad day or what it was, whether she was just sick of our nonsense. But I had done poorly on a spelling test. Surprise, surprise. I was reprimanded somewhat for it and got told to stand up and immediately jumped up and went, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. No.
Oh, no.
And she just broke into tears and walked out the door. The whole class was just like, did we break her?
Mate, my wife used to be a substitute teacher, but she's a bit like your wife. She's pretty tough, so she handled it pretty well. Like, they didn't have many troubles, but we had a substitute teacher in grade 10, and mate, we used to throw spitballs at the board and all this sort of stuff, and we were just shocking. And eventually one day she just picks up her bag and walks out, right? And we're like, "What's on here?" And she's just disappeared. So we're like sitting there for 15 minutes, and we're all chatting amongst ourselves and all the rest of it. Principal walks in, and he is livid, man. He just starts cracking the whip onto every kid in the room. Says to me, I'm going to get the cane, all the rest of it. And we're like, well, what happened to her? Where is she? And she's quit and resigned, taking psych leave. So she was off for like 6 months. We broke her. That's horrible. I know you shouldn't laugh, should you? Because these are real people, you know what I mean? Like, it's horrible. But this is the shit we do as kids.
Yeah, no. And kids are horrible.
Do they get away with that sort of shit these days?
Just telling mum how old she was.
I don't think they get away with this as much these days as they did when we were at school. I think it's a bit stronger now.
Oh, you know? I don't know. There was a day where there was caning involved and mass punishment. Now they're not even allowed to. Mate, my daycare when I was in Brisbane told me they're not allowed to say no to the children and they're not allowed to discipline them. Instead of discipline, they have to distract. So if my child walked up and punched someone, he wouldn't get disciplined, he'd get distracted. So go play in the sandpit. Off he goes and plays in the sandpit. So tomorrow, when he wants to go play in the sandpit, what lesson did he learn yesterday? Hey, Ricky, come here. Playtime for me.
Insane. So there's no actual disciplinary tactic you can take with these kids other than diversion. Go and do something else.
Yep, go do something else. Distract. It's ridiculous. But I saw my kids going wrong. Is either there'll be some sort of punishment coming his way, and he knows it.
And I got flogged. I had the cane like every week for something, and there was 6 of the bits across my fingers, and my fingers used to get all bruised and everything. I couldn't close them. It was that bad. But the cane was the one thing that I was really scared of. I didn't want to get the cane. So when they said to me, that's it, down to the principal's office, you're going to get the cane, I'd be like, oh, no.
Yeah, I reckon bring back the cane. Probably not so much fingers and stuff as far as, long-term injury to your fingers, your arthritis and stuff like that. But there's nothing wrong with being smacked across the arse. It's just a big fleshy place, and it's something that once you get hit there once, you don't wish to go back to that place again. It's called incentive. Don't get caught.
The deputy principal at my high school, he had a yellow feather duster, right? And we called it the Yellow Terror. And everyone would know if you went to see. I think his name was like Mr. Schmidt or something. And every time you go down to Schmidt's office, you knew you were in for the Yellow Terror because he just didn't talk to students unless he was dealing out punishment.
That was just his role. He was just like the old school executioner. He had his mask on. He was just standing in the corner with a big axe. And you walked into his room and you were getting
big beard. You know what I mean? Big 70s beard and all the rest of it. You know, and 70s 80s beard. You know what they were like. And
not really. Anyway, I was alive, but go on. Tell me about it, Grandpa.
I'll tell you more about it. My old school ways of thinking there.
What was it like back in your day?
Back when we had horse and carts and ink wells.
So getting back to the topic at hand, tormenting teachers. I have two older brothers. So my oldest brother is 5 years older than me, and then 3 years older than me is the middle, and then myself. So we were fortunate enough to go to the same primary school, same high school. We went through the whole area, one after another. And when we got to high school, my oldest brother got this English teacher, Miss Martin, and she was very hippie. She kind of reminded you of a witch a little bit. She was great fun. She was a great teacher. And then, of course, she got my next brother, and then she got myself. Now, my middle-aged brother, he was the troublesome one. And they started a great game, him and his friends, where they just randomly put a piece of chalk in her coffee throughout the lesson and wait for her to discover it and go throw it out the window because it tastes like chalk. Of course, I heard about that as I was growing up and went, I've got the same teacher. I have the perfect prank.
Oh, no.
Can't tell you the amount of times I was kicked out of class. My brother actually got her one day because they had adjoining classrooms. It was like those big bifold doors, so you could slide things underneath. And my brother slid a note underneath the door saying, "Do you know what's in your coffee?" And that's obviously where the teacher stands because he was at the back of the other classroom. And you could see her walk out the door of the classroom and throw a coffee over the balcony. Wasn't even in the same room, and she still didn't trust him.
What's in your coffee?
Yeah, I was sitting in her class one day, swinging on a chair, and she told me, "Well, if you're swinging, you lose the chair." So I just sat in a squat position because I was young and it didn't hurt your legs back then. And I got in trouble for sitting on a chair. Like, what are you talking about, miss? There's no chair here. So I got sent out for being a smartass.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, teachers loved me. I was never terrible. Like, I wasn't the type of abusive kid or anything. I just harmless, horribly annoying things.
I remember watching my brother have a meltdown. He was 3 years older than me. So I was in grade 8 or 9. And I was like down the other end of the hall and we were in a class. And I heard all this commotion. And everyone's sort of like sticking their heads out into the hallway to see what's going on. And my brother's there and he's slammed in his door. He's going, "Geography sucks. You suck. This school sucks." And he just keeps slamming the door every time. "This sucks. Bang. You suck. Bang."
Like a 3-year-old tantrum, yeah.
Anyway, he's done this about 7 times. And then eventually you just hear this, and all the glass in the door shatters and smashes onto the floor. Anyway, so I'm keeping an eye on what's going on here, and everybody's come out and everybody's watching it. Anyway, the teacher's just grabbed him just by the back of the shirt like this and just dragged him off. Anyway, and you can see the principal's office from the top balcony where we were, and you can see him in the principal's office. And that cane was out faster than I've ever seen in my life. And it was just like belting him, you know. And I don't even know what happened to this day, but all I know is he chucked a tantrum in geography.
Well, apparently geography sucks and math sucks. Well, when you're listening to the rant, when you're listening to the rant ranger,
it didn't put me in a good position moving forward for my years with that teacher as well.
And that does hurt you a lot, doesn't it? Having older siblings go through and do the wrong thing first.
They're very judgmental.
You're the bad kid.
Yeah, you're tainted from the start.
I must say, my family, my father, he's worked in government jobs his whole life, and he's always been pretty good at milking the system and getting the best hours to get the most overtime and double time and all things. The most money for the least amount of effort type of people, and we've followed in that track fairly damn well. To the point that when I was at high school, my middle brother again decided that he would try out for Backstage, which you during the formal assembly, you take the lectern in and out and same, you might open the curtains. You do about 3 seconds worth of work, and the rest of the time, you sat down underneath the stage, not listening to that nonsense formal assembly, the uncomfortable seats, behaving yourself. We're downstairs playing. He tells me about that. I'm like, I can be a backstage nerd. Definitely.
Mate, I'll tell you though, you see some of the best things happen in schools as far as character goes as well. There was this guy that came back from America and he had a heap of stink bombs with him that he bought in the States. And we had a parade on. There's about 1,200 kids in this parade, and the teacher standing out the front, deputy principal's having his rant, whatever he's talking about. And old mate's thrown a stink bomb straight up in the air, and it's come down and landed in the middle of parade, right? And the whole parade ground is just parted like the ocean with Moses, right? Just people getting out of the way because this thing stinks so bad. Anyway, there was this big investigation to try and find out who did it. Anyway, and one of my mates, and he did not do it, but they pulled him aside and they go, we know you did it, and all the rest of it. And he got suspended for 3 days as well as getting caned, and he never dobbed in the guy that actually did it. And I thought, that's character, you know what I mean? Like, good job, mate.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
Well, you know how I said I was always a pretty good boy. I didn't do the wrong thing. You want to hear about the one time I was almost expelled?
Yes, do tell.
So, obviously, I would do silly things, and being an opportunist person, I would make money out of them. So, pouring down rain, the bottom oval, floods. Hey, anybody want to give me $5 to go and dive into the big puddle? Of course we do. Chow, you're silly enough.
Make some money.
Here's $2 for me. So off I go do that. So someone suggested, hey Glenn, you're getting an award on a formal assembly. Wouldn't it be funny if you tripped over?
Oh no, dude.
Yeah, it would. It would be really funny if I tripped over in front of a formal assembly. Everyone looks like, yeah, that'd be great. Let's do that. Who's in? Who wants to pay me? Who wants to see me look like a fool? $48 later, I'm like, yeah, this is money for jam right here. Undo a shoelace, walk on out, stand on the shoelace, pretend to trip over, get up all embarrassed, and a bit of a cheeky giggle to myself because I'm embarrassed. Yeah, second after I step off that stage, collared by the deputy principal, you, principal's office now. I'm like, righto.
Didn't get away with it?
Off I go. Yeah, no, I swore black and blue from the second that it happened to the very dying days that was 100% an accident. I was just laughing because I was embarrassed. I had to write an apology note for it, which I meant sincerely when I gave that apology. It was also her first words were, "You are being expelled for this." Apparently, there was some fancy people from somewhere watching the assembly.
Oh no!
Kid falls over, getting an award. Who cares?
And everybody lost sight of the award. I take it.
Well, obviously appearances are everything. It's not, hey, was that child okay? It's, let's get him out of here. He made us look stupid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for another episode of Ranger and Chow. Don't forget to subscribe. Patreon page there if you want to support us financially. We appreciate that. Don't forget about some merchandise too. If you want to buy, let us know. And until then, cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Stay sober.
Yeah. Funny days. Funny days.
Oh, it wasn't school just a laugh. And you know what?